Here we're going to learn how to use the percent equation. Now, in many real-world situations, we're asked to represent a portion of something to its total as a percentage. And in these situations, we can use what's called the percent equation, and it looks something like this. We're going to have the base times the rate equals the part. Very simple equation, but let's see what its pieces are. The base is also called the total. It's the total amount that we're working with. It's the big picture. The rate you'll identify as a percentage. It's just a percentage or the rate of what we're working with. And the part is just a piece of the total. So the part is just a smaller version of the base. And we want to find what percentage of the base equals some part. And let's do this by working a few examples. Let's say we want to find 25% of 100. Okay, well, we can actually use the percent equation to do this. Let's see, so we have our equation B times R equals P. Okay, where base times rate equals percentage. A dead giveaway is this percent sign. Okay, this is going to mean we have the rate. So we're going to have R, the rate, equals 25% or 0.25. When we're solving for something, we generally write it as a decimal or a fraction. You can write this as 1 over 4, but let's go ahead and write it as a decimal right here. So we have R of our equation equals 0.25, and then of 100. Now, of 100 will tell us that this 100 is the total. So we want 25% of 100. So we're asked to find the part of something, or the part of 100. So our base is going to be 100. That's the total. So now we can simply plug these into our equation, our percent equation, and we can solve for P. So we have our base, which is 100, times our rate, which is 0.25, equals our part. We're going to solve for P. We're going to multiply 100 and 0.25, and that gives us P equals 25. 25 is 25% of 100. Now this might be kind of intuitive and pretty simple example, but I want to get used to working with this actual percent equation because it's going to come in handy whenever we're actually dealing with numbers that aren't so easy to work with. Actually, let's look at an example of that. Let's say we want to find 11% of 41. 11% of 41. Now here we're given the rate. We see the percent sign, so our rate is going to be 11% or 0.11. And then the base of means total. We're going to find a part of something. So our base is going to equal 41. And we simply plug into our equation. We have 41 times R, which is 0.11. And that's going to give us the part that we're looking for. And we simply solve for P by multiplying these together. We have 4.51. 4.51 is 11% of 41. Okay? Very straightforward. We're learning how to use the percent equation here. So let's do a couple more. Let's say we have $70. $70 is 7% of what total sum? Okay, so $70 is 7% of what total sum? Well, here we have some keywords. We have percent, and we have of, and we actually have of the total. So this screams base right here. So we want to find B, which means we're given the rate and we're given the part. So we want to find B. Our percent equation is BR equals P. So we want to find B, so what we can do is we can solve our percent equation, we can manipulate it a little bit to solve for B. So let's divide both sides by R. That'll isolate our base, and our base equals P divided by R. Now notice that we're simply working with the same equation, the same formula, but all we did was use a little algebra to actually manipulate it to where we're solving for what we want to know. We want to know the base. Okay, so we're given the rate and the part. Now we want to solve for our base. So here, our part is $70, and our rate, well, that's just the percent. We have 0.07. So now we simply plug it into our equation that we solve for our base. Our base is going to equal the part divided by the rate, 0.07. Okay? Keywords are always helpful if we can identify them. Total is just another term for the base, so that's actually our unknown that we want to solve for. And our base is going to equal 1,000. $70 is 7% of 1,000. Okay? So our percent equation, you can see it's a little versatile. If we're given two pieces of information, we can manipulate our equation to solve for our unknown, whatever we're wanting to find out. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's say we want to express $40 as a percentage of $200. So we want to express $40 as a percentage of $200. Well, here what we're being asked to find is actually the rate. So we're going to take our formula. We're going to take our formula BR equals P, and we're going to solve for R. We want to know our rate, our percentage. So we're going to divide both sides by B, which will get R by itself. So R is going to equal our part divided by our base. Okay? No big magic show here. We're just using a little algebra to manipulate our formula to what we want to solve for. So we're going to get R, our rate, is going to equal our part. Part's always smaller than the base, so that's a dead giveaway. Part is 40, and our base is 200. And then 40 divided by 200 equals 1/5. Let's go ahead and write it in a couple different ways. 1/5 is also 0.2, or 20%. Okay, we're asked to find the percentage here, so let's go ahead and use this as our answer. 1/5 and 0.2 are also equivalent, but we always want to leave our answer in the form that was asked for. Okay, very important. Let's look at another one. Let's say we want to find, we're running out of room here. Let's go ahead and erase this. And let's say we want to find 75% of 19. Okay, well, let's identify a few keywords here. Here we have percent, which screams rate. And we have of, which means 19 is going to be our total, or our base. Okay, of means base. Percentage is obviously our rate, so that means we're looking for our part. Well, we have our percent equation, BR equals P, so we actually already have it solved for P, so let's go ahead and plug in. So our P, our part, is going to equal B, 19, times R, which is 0.75. And then we simply multiply, and that gives us 14.25. 14.25 is 75% of 19. Okay, so very straightforward, very simple. Just getting familiar with our percent equation. Let's go ahead and do one more. We have time for one more. We want to know what percentage of 300 is 15. Okay, they can change up the words all they want. Our percent equation will work every time. We just want to identify our keywords. So we're asking for what percentage, so that means we're going to solve for rate. And we have our 300 is going to be our base, because we're left with two numbers, 315. So one's going to be our base, one's going to be our part. Part's always smaller than the base. So when we're solving our equation BR equals P, we're going to solve for R, which we saw in a previous example, that R equals P over B. What we do is simply divide both sides by B. This cancel, so R equals P over B. So we're solving for our rate, so we have our part, 15, divided by 300, and that's simply 0.05, or 5%, since we're asked for the percentage. Okay, so what did we learn here? We're working with the percent equation. We have a simple percent equation with 3 variables, and we can actually use a little algebraic manipulation to move these around and solve for whatever is being asked for. Okay, so we're given 2 pieces of information. We want to solve for one unknown. So we just want to identify some key words. Anything with percentage means our rate. And then we have base and we have part. Base is actually the total, and 15 is just a piece of the total. So whenever it's actually asked like this, it's a little simpler because the base is always going to be larger than the part. So go over these, review these again. We'll do some more in the next section. I'll see you